What's up guys, Agish Kavithil here representing AK Fitness. Welcome to my workout series. Today we're hitting the shoulders hard. Alright, starting the exercise with warming up the rotator cuff muscles. Very crucial on your chest days as well as your shoulders day. The main aim here is to get the blood flowing into the shoulders, and rotator cuff muscles provide stability as well as ensure flexibility of the shoulders. So if you want to maintain healthy shoulders, you gotta do them. Starting off with about 2 sets, keep the reps high, about 20 reps, and about 2 sets, very lightweight, slow and controlled motion, getting the blood into the muscles, preparing them for heavy ass weight. Alright, so we're starting off with the dumbbell overhead press, one of the best exercises for your shoulder development, and while using a dumbbell it focuses mainly on your medial delt. Now we're going to start off with high reps, low weight, and we're going to progress, and as the reps drop the weight will be increased. As a natural lifter, the more heavy you lift, the more muscle you put on, and our focus should be mainly on the compound lifts. So let's get started. Wrist straps, really important. While going heavy on dumbbells, it'll be very hard to stabilize the dumbbell weight, as it'll put a lot of stress on your wrist. So wrist straps I definitely recommend. And if you're doing any of the pressing movements, always do them standing. Never do them seated. Why? Because when you're standing, you work your abs, you work your calves. A lot of muscle groups come into play while doing them standing. So I always recommend doing them standing. And you must have seen I wore a belt. That's to keep the core tight and help me press the weight up. I'm going to progress in weight. Alright, I've reached my last warm-up set, which is 18 kgs of 8 reps. Now as a natural lifter, the more stronger you get, the more heavy you lift, the more size you'll put on. Alright, so our main focus should be on strength. Now always the first exercise should be a compound lift, and second thing is that keep the rep range between 6 and 8, and I recommend keeping it 6. Why? Because 6 will focus more on the strength side as well as you get the hypertrophy in. Now my 20 kgs is a PR I hit in this workout, and I can only do 6 reps. I can't do more than 6. So pick a weight which you can do only 6 and go as many sets as possible until you can't push no more weight. Now keep the rest between 1 minute to 1 minute 30 seconds so that your muscles are always under tension, right? Don't go beyond that, and that's how you grow, right? So do as many sets as possible. I don't know how many sets I did, and always try to, if you can't lift the weight, try using a spot and getting the last 6 rep in. Now always keep a track of your weights, how much you lift, mainly on your compound lifts. The more stronger you get on the compound lifts, eventually other lifts will improve. So always try keeping a record of how much you lift on the compound lifts. So last time I hit 18 kgs for 6 reps, I couldn't do more, and this time I broke it and hit 20. Next time hopefully I'll do 22 kgs. So always keep progressing. The more you progress on these lifts, automatically your other lifts, other isolation, all lifts will increase. As you progress in number of sets you do, it'll be very hard to push the weight. It means that your central nervous system gets fatigued. So there'll be a point where you can't get the 6th rep in. As you can see in this video, right, I'm struggling to get even the 3-4 reps. I'm pushing myself, and that's the time when you can't get the 6th rep in, you stop and you move on to the next exercise. Alright, so the next exercise is a superset, where we're supersetting the front delt and the rear delt. The rep range moves from 6 and it goes to 8 to 12 rep range. We're focusing mainly on hypertrophy, and the 8th rep should be the hardest rep. You should be struggling to get the 8th rep in. Alright, so we're supersetting the machine press, which focuses mainly on the front delt, to a rear delt fly, which focuses mainly on the rear delt. Now the rep range increases to 12. Why? Because the rear delt is a small muscle and it's used to high reps and low weight. So don't go heavy on these, right? Light and go for the pump. 12 reps. So you see, I failed at the 7th rep. That's because I couldn't get the 8th rep in. That's how heavy you should go. The 8th rep should be the hardest rep to get in, right? And you immediately superset with the rear delt fly. 12 reps. Keep the burn. Again, as you progress in number of sets you do, you will reach a sticking point where you can't get the 8th rep in. On that case, you can do a rest pause set where you don't rack the weight, you hold the weight and you wait for 5 seconds and try to getting the next rep in. If you still fail, if you still can't get the 8th rep in, then it's time to move on to the next exercise. Alright, so the next exercise is a superset again. I love supersets because it saves a lot of time and it helps you to grow more faster. So the next exercise was a upright row, right? A mass builder for your shoulders and your traps. You did about 8 to 10 reps and you superset immediately with a heavy barbell behind. This is a split machine, a variation of upright rows and behind the neck shrugs. It's a great way to keep the pump, right? It's a variation and you can go about 12 reps in this, right? Straight up and down and having the pump on your shoulders, right? So again the same thing, supersetting the upright rows with behind the neck shrugs. Now when doing the shrug, always try to touch your traps to your ears, right, and go full range of motion, right? If you can't get the full range of motion, then you need to lower the weight and go with the full range of motion, right? So always squeeze at the top and bring it down. I've seen a lot of guys go super heavy in this and they can't even touch, they're not even doing the full range of motion. So try going light first and try getting the technique in. Now when doing the upright rows, I recommend you guys going with wearing a wrist strap. Why? Because it puts a lot of stress on your wrist, having a narrow grip. So always go wear a wrist strap before doing the upright rows. While doing the behind the neck shrug, always try to lean a bit forward and keep your neck down and it works more of your traps. Again, if you can't get the 12 reps in, keeping the rest period between 1 minute and 1 minute 30 seconds, then you can either incorporate rest pause sets to get the 12 reps in, and still if you fail at the 10th or the 9th rep, then it's time to move on to the next exercise. Alright, so this is the last exercise for this workout and it's the killer finisher. We are going to isolate all the 3 heads and it's a tricep. It means we are going to do a side raise with the cable, then we're going to superset that with the rear delt raise, and then we're going to superset that with the front delt raise. So we're hitting all 3 heads, right, and you're doing it with the cable, you're doing super light, going for the pump, so you're doing 20 reps on each back to back with no rest. It's a killer finisher, gets the blood into the muscle, and that's how we grow. So total, we are going for 60 reps per set and we're doing 3 sets. The catch here is you can rest without unracking the weight. So you can hold the cables and feel the burn and rest until you can get the 20 reps per set. Totally 60 reps. Reps, you can rest for a minute or a minute and 30 seconds and then again go for 2 more sets, and that's how you get the massive cap delt looking shoulders. Hope you guys like the video. If you guys have any fitness questions to be answered, you can leave them in the comment section or you can email us at akfitnessquestions@gmail.com. See you guys next time.